Hello, yes, and welcome to another episode of MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be bringing to you my predictions for week 21 just before the MLS All-Star game, so enjoy. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me this week. It's going to be a lot of games on this weekend, so I'm looking forward to this. The first game is going to be on Friday night at half 12 our time, and it's going to be New York City FC against Sporting Kansas City, and it's going to be on TV here, so I'm looking forward to that. And if you're new to this TV or this show or whatever I do, hit the wee subscribe button. Also my Twitter and all that stuff and Instagram will be down and below in the description. So I'm going to try and do something new in this wee video. I'm going to have a wee bit more bits on the sides of what the teams did beforehand and how their results were and how many stats they were, and probably a couple wee bits more information just to keep things a wee bit sweet and to make up your own mind on what predictions you come up with. So thank you very much for the ideas I've been getting, and keep them rolling, because I just, to make this better, it'll be a hell of a lot better, and keep them coming. So the first one is NYCSC against Sporting Kansas City. It's going to be on TV here, so it's going to be on Sky. I'm looking forward to it. New York City are starting to get the ball rolling again. They're starting to look like a good team, the way they were not last season, but the season before. They're starting now to compel on. Sporting Kansas City now are trying to find their feet a bit more, which is actually even better to see. I do want to see them do very well, and they're not too far off on making the playoffs in the Western. So this is going to be a unique way. I tried to come up with a way to see what way they played this season. This is the first time they'll play this season, obviously. So the last game they played each other was 2-0 to New York City SC, but that was last season. So I'm going to try, with the way New York City are scoring a lot of more goals at home, and Sporting Kansas City do get the odd one away from home, so I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to New York City. It's just going to be, I think it's going to be an easy enough game for New York City, but I think there's going to be a wee bit lax at the back, and Sporting Kansas City may nick one on a fluke, kind of just one of those games. It's going to be like a run of the play. So that one's going to be a good one. Then the next one after that is going to be a cracking good game. It's going to be on a Friday night at 3 o'clock, so I might not be up for that one. Who knows? It's LAFC against Atlanta. That's going to be a flipping cracking good game. That's maybe last year's MLS Cup team winners against the new ones, maybe. They're definitely going to be Supporters Shield anyway in LAFC, and they're taking on Atlanta at home. So Atlanta, I watched them last week. They didn't really hit the ball rolling until about the 70th minute, where basically Joseph Martinez basically dragged them over the line. It's kind of like one of those kind of war movies where you watch a guy just grab the team and just go, right, we're doing it my way and we're going to win, and basically that's what it looked like, what they did. Pity Martinez came on, scored the first goal, which was a good goal. Nagby, who I think is basically Atlanta's second best player, so he's starting to now get into the game and get a wee bit more higher up than where he used to be. So like I said, I think Atlanta now are kind of making up their own wee kind of patterns, tactics, and then trying to do it over Frank DeBoer against LAFC, who are just basically running the show and just showing you how to do it, which Atlanta did last season, and LAFC are just making it even better. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to LAFC. I just think they have a wee bit too much for them, especially at home in front of those home fans. They're scoring a hell of a lot more goals when they're at home, and I don't think Atlanta play brilliantly away from home, especially over that distance and the heat temperature and stuff like that. I just don't think they may have it in them. So the next one is going to be on Saturday night, I think. It's going to be New England Revolution against Orlando. New England are the best team now in the last 8 games. They haven't lost a game in the last 8 games, which is quite surprisingly. That with San Jose. So those two are the best combined teams in the MLS in the last 8 games, which started the season you wouldn't have thought that. First 10 games of the season you wouldn't have thought that. And they're taking on Orlando, who will be doing the MLS All-Stars, which I won't be watching because there's a pile of poo. It's going to be a good one. I think New England should have a wee bit too much for them. I think Orlando they always concede a goal. They always concede more than 2 goals when they're away from home, and I think the way New England now are playing, I think they will just I think it's going to be an easy enough win for New England Revolution. So, well done, New England Revolution fans. You're getting your team back. The next one is New York Red Bulls against Columbus Crew. Columbus Crew are pitiful at the moment, and New York Red Bull are play a great game when they're the underdogs, and they play a crap game when they should be easily beat. They were kind of like last season's Philadelphia Union against Columbus Crew, but against Columbus Crew, I think they will have a wee bit too much for them. New York Red Bull always do score when they're away from home, and when they're definitely at home. And I think Columbus Crew just don't have enough for them. But I do believe they will score 1 goal, so I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to New York Red Bulls. And then the next one is Chicago Fire against DC United. This was a tricky game because the two teams Chicago Fire haven't been really that good at home, and DC United haven't really been that good away from home. This could surprise you, the way Chicago Fire now are going to get into their new stadium, Shoulder Field. Their fan base may pick up a bit and may bring a bit more excitement into their season, next season perhaps. I just don't see them doing all that well at the moment, unfortunately. They're taking on a DC United team who were Rooney-less last week against Atlanta. I think he will be back, and I do believe he will run the show. Him and Acosta will probably get the 2 goals. Sorry, Chicago Fire. I do like Chicago Fire, basically because of Bastian Schweinsteiger. It's going to be one of those games, unfortunately. The next one is FC Dallas, who won last week against Port of Kansas City. Against Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake won last week too, I believe. Where are they? I can't believe them. Not true. It's going to be a tight game. FC Dallas coming into this week, I think they're going to be a bit more hyped up than Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake are not to be sniffed at. I think these two teams are the two quiet teams in the league. You don't really hear much about them unless you support them. But if you're not their avid supporters, you don't really hear much about them, and they're at playoff level where they will probably make it, to both of them. But yeah, like I said, the way the San Jose are going at the moment, they can probably pin them, or Portland can probably get above them. It's anybody's guess in the Western. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for FC Dallas. FC Dallas are always getting their goals away from home. When they're at home, they always score 2 goals, and their games are always more over 2 goals. So put the 2-2 together. And then the next one is Houston Dynamo against Seattle Sounders. Houston Dynamo, did they win last week? I believe they did. Houston, yep, they beat Toronto 3-1, which was a pretty good result against Seattle Sounders, who I believe drew wherever they are. No, they got beat by Portland. I should remember these a bit better. I have the fucking things there. It's gonna be an interesting game. I think Seattle Sounders probably will have a wee bit too much for Houston. Houston are very good at home. They always score in the counter attack, but I think with their star player Ellis getting sent off last week or 2 weeks ago, I would say they're kind of probably going to miss him a wee bit in this game, because let's face it, Toronto are kind of awful when they're defending against a counter attacking team. So that was kind of probably was obvious. Against Seattle or more a tighter team to probably break down. So I would say Houston may struggle in this one, but I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to Seattle. Seattle come out winners just basically because they're probably more established. They know their tactics. And the next one is Minnesota at home against Vancouver Whitecaps. Minnesota, as I said, they drew last week. They are a good team when they're at home, and I do think against Vancouver they probably should win this game quite easily. Vancouver got beat last week 3-1 by San Jose, so again, this game can go down anyway. Vancouver not very good away from home, and Minnesota cracking at home, scoring well over 2 goals in nearly every game. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. 2-0 win to Minnesota. You wouldn't have thought of that 2 seasons ago, or start of the season basically, but they got their new home, and it's a cracking looking stadium too, so it's one for the bucket list. So 2-0 in that one. Then Montreal against Philadelphia Union. Philadelphia should win this one. Montreal are the kind of team probably you don't really think they're going to do very well, then they end up doing very well. Like last week, you would have thought they probably would have beat Columbus Crew, but they got beat by them against Philadelphia Union, who are surprising a lot at the moment. Who knew Philadelphia will be top of the Eastern this time at the start of the season when everybody was crying out for a signing, and they brought them in one, and look where they are now. It just shows you what you need when a team goes out and picks up a player that they need, rather than just to show off how much money they've got. Man United. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Philadelphia. Montreal always score a goal when they're at home, and Philadelphia always scoring plenty of goals when they're away from home. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win on that one. And then the next one is Toronto against FC Cincinnati. Toronto, poor last week. Cincinnati, poor last week. It's going to be a tricky one, but Toronto always score when they're at home. They score a lot of goals when they're at home. Apart from last week, they scored one, but they will always score a goal when they're away, when they're at home. So, but I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. Just think Cincinnati just have basically thrown in the white towel, and they're just going to probably try and salvage what they've got for the season and try to reboot next season. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. And then the San Jose against Colorado Rapids. San Jose, start of the season, you wouldn't have said they would have been quite doing well there where they are at the moment. They got a new manager at the start of the season. Didn't look like the players knew what they were doing. Then Wendowski basically started scoring a hell of a lot of goals, and now they're the second best team in form in the last 8 games apart from New England. Things don't really add up. I started these predictions and I'm thinking, this MLS is going to be fucking easy. It's not easy. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for San Jose. San Jose are scoring a hell of a lot more goals when they're at home than this past while. Colorado are letting in a hell of a lot more goals this time. So it's easy enough 2-0 win. And then the last one is Portland Timbers against LA Galaxy. Portland need to find a form at home, and LA Galaxy probably no pressure going into this game, thinking and knowing they probably win. Watch them lose, but I'm going to go for Portland 1, LA Galaxy 2. Just for the sheer fact is Zlatan's probably buzzing from last week beating LAFC, and Portland at home last week getting beat. Well, away from home, getting beat by Seattle. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think Portland should, with the way their pitch is, and Zlatan might not be able to play on that pitch. It's anybody's guess, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to the LA Galaxy. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, I'm trying something new in this one, and if you don't like it, then let me know. If there's anything else you would change, make it look a wee bit better, let me know. So hope to God see you on the next one, and if you're new, hit the wee subscribe button, and see you in the next one. Bye now.